What's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of the show Built with VAs. I'm your host, Valentina Brega. I am very lucky, very blessed, very happy to have a lot of good people in my network. These are people who are great leaders, who are very successful entrepreneurs. These are people that are my role models and that I want to be like, and I want to model their behavior and their habits. And what I noticed about them is how they solve problems and how they approach problems, which is so different. This was transformational, my observations and what I noticed about these people that I definitely want to incorporate into my leadership skills as well, and just being a better human being. So I'm going to share with you how leaders and how successful people solve problems. Ready? Let's go. So a couple of years ago, I never dreamt that I would be surrounded by so many inspirational people. And they are just regular people. You know, we all have problems. We all have life going around us. We all have ups. We all have downs. We all have good days. We all have bad days. But the way successful people interpret what's happening to them, the way leaders look at problems is completely different. And this was a big eye-opening moment for me. And I like to observe, I like to notice, I like to model this behavior. So let me share a couple of things that I noticed with you. So number one thing that I noticed is successful people, they are action takers and they make decisions fast. Everybody has problems, and probably 85% of the problems we have should be dealt with immediately. Well, what is the natural default that we people do? It's like, I don't want to deal with this right now. We're running away from problems. I don't want to deal with this right now. I'm going to deal with that tomorrow or in 2 days. We always rely on our future self to deal with current problems. We think we're going to be smarter in 2 days. We're going to be wiser in 2 days. We're going to know how to take care of that then. But we don't want to deal with that now. And then 2 days later, we're like, oh man, why didn't I deal with that when it was time? I don't want to deal with this now either. I'm not smarter, I'm not wiser in 2 days' time. So what I notice successful people do is they take care of problems right away. The reason they do that is because they don't want to give room to the problem to grow, but also because they're so busy, their attention can be pulled in so many directions. If they don't take care of the problem now, it will escalate to something bigger. Now, of course, if you have a team, they can help take care of these problems. I know people on my team, they care a lot of the problems that are related to my business. I call my team my firefighters because if it's a small fire, they know, they've been trained, they know how to put it out. If it's something big, if it's something that needs my attention, I make it a habit to get involved and get it done now and not let it escalate to more. Because by the time you let it escalate, you will forget a lot of details, but also you will add a lot more emotion, a lot more frustration, then it's not doing you any service. So successful people and good leaders, they decide fast. They make fast decisions. They don't know if that decision is going to be good or bad. They don't have a crystal ball and see how it's going to turn out. But what they decide is they decide on an action that has the highest probability of being solved. And this actually reminds me of a book that I read from Annie Duke, Thinking in Bets. So if you don't know who Annie Duke is, she's a professional poker player. And I really like the book. I like the way she changed the way I look at business and the way I think about our actions and what we do. But one thing stood out to me the most. She said something like this: there's no such thing as a good or bad decision. There's only a good or bad outcome. So if the outcome is good, we say, that was a good decision. If the outcome is bad, we say, that was a bad decision. But no, the decision stays the same. The decision is irrelevant. It doesn't matter what you decide because you cannot control the outcome. You can only control the decision you're making. So as an entrepreneur, take the decision, take it fast, identify what has the highest probability of being solved, but don't overthink it. Don't think about it too much. And this is what successful people do. And once they made the decision, they execute with certainty. So they say, okay, that's what we decided. That's what we're going to focus our time. That's what we're going to focus our attention on. And they take massive action in that direction. They don't say something like, I know we decided that yesterday, but maybe we're wrong. Maybe let's do this. Maybe let's do that. They don't sway around that much. Decide on one thing, take action, analyze the outcome. And that's what successful people do. And when they have a problem, another thing I noticed, when they have a problem, so that's the second thing I noticed, they look at problems differently. I know you hear all the time that look at problems as opportunities, but what exactly does that mean? I think they look at more than just opportunities. They look at it as, first of all, is this problem relevant? Will this problem matter in 5 years? If the answer is yes, you're going to put more energy, more thought into this. If the problem is not going to matter in 5 years, they don't want to spend a lot of time, a lot of energy, and a lot of resources on figuring this out. So they will deal with this fast and put it to rest. But they also look at it as opportunities, as an impediment to the next level. So here's an example. Before I had my own company, I was an employee. I had to report to someone, and I said, if only I had my own company, if only I was my own boss, if only I didn't have to report from hour to hour, if only I didn't have to do this, life would be so much simpler. Okay, I'm at this point right now. I have my own company, I am my own boss, I control my own hours. You don't think I have problems? Oh, I have a ton of problems, but they're a different set of problems. They're at a different level kind of problems. Now I have a team I need to take care of. I need to make sure we have sufficient funds to cover the team. I need to make sure we do a good job with our service. I need to make sure there's so many things that I have to worry about on a daily basis. And now I'm thinking, if only I had passive income that would make sure that would cover the team so I wouldn't have to worry about this. Okay, let's assume I get to that point. Do you think I'm not going to have problems then? No, you're always going to have problems. It's just a different level, different set of problems. So when you go with your business, don't avoid problems, but embrace them and look at them as the most important stepping stone to the next level. So in order to get to the next level, you have to fix those problems. I had a different set of problems when I was an employee. I overcame those. Now I have a different set of problems. I need to overcome these in order to grow to the next level and open up another set of problems for me there. But this is how we grow. We will always have issues, always have problems, so don't ignore them, but learn how to deal with them. And of course, see them as opportunities in the sense that, okay, a customer said they don't like that we don't offer this service. You know what, maybe we should offer this service. That's not a bad idea. Obviously, you don't want to overwhelm. It has to be a logical decision. But a lot of the things that problems offer is opportunities. Take the emotion out. That's what successful people do. They take emotion out and they analyze it from a logical point of view. Does it make sense? Will this help us? And how is this going to help us? Now, the third thing that I noticed is how people, just how they deal with blame. Because here's the thing, we like to blame others, or maybe it's a self-defense mechanism, maybe it's we're trying to find who the person to blame is. So marketing blames sales blames this, we all blame each other. And it's so distracting. It takes so much of our energy to understand who is to blame for this problem. Successful people don't care about this because they know that pointing fingers and blaming someone, this is post-mortem. It's not relevant. It already happened. What happened. We got to deal with this situation. So now let's focus on the solution. What do we do with the situation that we have at hand? And even if it's your fault, and even if it's, somebody from your team's fault, it really doesn't matter. It is definitely your problem though. So you need to deal with that from a logical point of view. Take the story out, take the stress out. We're emotional creatures. We like emotions. We like drama. We like stories. So when we hear the stories, we may get frustrated. We have such a big range of emotions. Successful people, they take themselves out. They don't care about the story. They don't care about the stress. They care about facts. Okay, what happened? This person is causing problems. What kind of problems? It's a toxic environment. The work is delayed. Easy. Let's replace that person. I actually know a very good friend of mine, a very successful entrepreneur, who had to replace a whole department of people because I don't know the details. I don't know what happened, but it must have been a very big problem for him to replace the whole department. And he was, obviously he was probably hurt or impacted by this decision, but he didn't show it. He's like, it is what it is. We're going to have to make the rush decision to let go of these people. And now we need to hire more people. But let's learn, what is the lesson learned here? We're going to learn how to set the right expectations. We're going to write better ads to make sure we attract better people. We're going to do this. We're going to do that. We're not going to make the same mistakes that we just made now. So this is already the next level. This is already a lesson learned that will help them become even better leaders and even more successful in their companies. So to me, finding this out, how they get detached from feelings was so important, because feelings come and go. Feelings can be justified or unjustified. Feelings will not matter in a couple of years. They matter now because they're fresh, and we get frustrated and we get angry and we get annoyed and we get all of this. But in a week, in 2 weeks, in a month, in a year, this is not going to matter. What matters is the actions that you take and how you respond to what's happening in your company. So isn't that cool? All right. And the last thing that I noticed is they hire help. They hire help because Let's say they don't have a website. Okay, we don't have a website that's attractive. Let's hire someone to do that. Okay, so this is not working. Okay, who can help me? What is the right person who can help me solve this problem? So they're very solution focused, not blame focused, not problem focused. And that's it. This is the behavior that I noticed in every successful person. This is an unspoken rule. I don't think people talk about this. I don't think this is a secret handshake and, hey, to be successful, you need to do this. But it becomes part of your journey once you grow to that point, once you become a good leader, once you become more successful. It just changes within you. You have to go through certain issues to get to that point where you naturally become that person. So this is what I noticed. All successful people, all entrepreneurs, they are united by this mindset, by this thinking that what's next? It is something we're dealing with. Take the emotions out and let's figure out a solution. Okay, I hope you found something useful for yourself as an entrepreneur. And if you like this episode, make sure to subscribe, give us a good review, and share that with a friend who you think might enjoy this as well. And as always, thanks for watching. Thanks for tuning in. I'll see you next time.